Drink Cinema! Cheers. Welcome to another episode of Two Drink Cinema, two brothers reviewing movies, two drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
Hello, Lee.
How are you?
I'm good, Lee.
Good, good.
It's spring. Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung, and we are good to go.
Yeah, it's not quite summer
No, this summer or last summer
or the summer 2 years from now.
or the summer 2 years ago.
Yeah, I've lost. Yeah,
There's a few summers.
there's a few summers.
In the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, which we're going to review, and then on our totally invented Archie Q De Niro scale,
Yes, we will rank, rate, discuss, ponder.
not a lot of pondering in this movie, in or about this movie.
The thing I pondered most, actually, you asked before we even started recording that you pondered about was
Why'd they make two sequels?
sequels? There you go, right on cue. Jinx
And
under
the
the
TV
rooftop.
series. Jinx Under the Rooftop.
Jinx under the rooftop.
That's the American way of doing
Jinx
it.
under the rooftop means you can't talk under the rooftop.
Well,
you go outside, you
this
can talk.
podcast is fucked then. Let's go outside.
So I'll just be sitting here talking to myself.
We have a cocktail for the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
As we do every week, and because that's a big part of Two Drink Cinema.
It is a very summery cocktail. I'm quite proud with this. It
Looks very
professional.
summery. It looks good. There
I
is
could sell
definitely-
this for $20.
There's definitely the foam. Well, if you want a cocktail for $20 made not by us, but we'll be there. We're going to have an event soon. So make sure you follow our socials at Two Drink Cinema, the Two Brothers socials at the Two Brothers ENT, and Rainbow Popcorn socials
Yep, lot of
at Rainbow
socials.
Popcorn Pod. All the links are down there. Follow all of them because we have an event coming up soon that you would like to be a part of if you would like our cocktails or
Which
our
you do.
company.
Well, I haven't tasted this yet, but look at it.
It looks good. And cocktails, well, it's a bit washed out in the
Yeah,
colours.
that's
but
fine.
You'll
It's
see
green.
it in real life.
So it's
All right.
called
Yes.
a last summer fizz.
The quantities will be up on our socials and up on the
So
screen.
it's got gin,
Yep.
which we already had. This is all great. We pretty much already had everything.
Excellent.
Gin, lime cordial, that I had to buy. Lime juice,
Yes.
chartreuse,
Oh, yep.
which we haven't used since the very beginning of the cocktails.
It's very green.
And
An egg
then
white.
Egg white. And you top it up with soda water and a little garnish of mint. And I decided lime.
For those that are looking at the picture on the YouTube or are checking it out on the socials, when you pay for it at our event, it won't have black and gold soda water.
Nah,
Okay.
It might have something more expensive.
and
but then
if-
you'll have to pay $22 instead of $20.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, this
So
is it.
Let's give it a crack.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Metal straws for the environment.
Oh, you know what? You can
Yeah.
really taste the chartreuse.
It's very summer cocktail alcoholic.
It's good.
It's good. Well done.
Cram the mint in there.
Mix it up. Yeah, there's definitely lime and chartreuse in there. Yeah,
It
good.
actually doesn't have that much flavour.
No.
Know
No,
what I
it's-
mean?
Yeah, but it's good.
This could all, instead of soda water, could have done lemonade.
But I think that would make it too sweet.
Yeah, that's true.
I like it as it is now.
Chuck some more lime in
Because
there.
it's got the lime cordial is good with the soda water.
You know what?
How are you going to score that?
Like a 4.5. Nah, 4. It's a solid 4 for
It's
me.
sunny outside. I think it's a 4.5 in a beer garden on a sunny day.
It's a 4.5 in a beer garden out of a mason jar.
Yeah, inside, it's a 4.
Yeah.
Today it's sunny, so let's give it a 4.25.
Okay. It's sunny, but we're inside.
It's sunny and
so
we can
it's a
see the sun.
4.25.
So yeah, all right, 4.25 for the last summer fizz.
Yeah, in terms of the...
We couldn't do a sex on the beach, which was your other suggestion, because we don't have a bonfire to zoom in on.
Or a slow pan away into the ocean.
Yeah. Or we couldn't be just behind a
Because
fire.
apparently we can't see sex. I don't know.
Well, I was reminded the other day with the American censors about how Paul Verhoeven for Starship Troopers said their American censors will let as much blood and gore on the screen as you can.
Yeah.
But you can't get a bare breast on.
You can't get a boob.
Can't get a yarbos. Unless you're Fatal Attraction. And they're Glenn
Well,
Close's
he had it
yarbos.
in Starship Troopers.
He did.
Oh, but then that's why
But
it went to R.
it meant an R rating. Yep. Whereas like, what's his name, Busey, literally gets his head blown off. That wasn't the thing that made it R rated.
No.
What is his
Gary
name,
Busey?
Busey? No, he's Gary Busey's son, Jake Busey.
Oh, right.
Plays that guy that gets promoted in Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In terms of the general alcoholicness of the
Film.
I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yep.
he just gets drunk like a fuckwit.
Can someone say alcoholic?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, write that down.
Yeah.
He gets very drunk, though, just swigging whiskey out of a bottle around a campfire on a
Very
beach.
drunk. And he has the shot that was meant for Julie. So maybe Max made the little shot a bit stronger.
True, because he was,
He was keen on Julie. I'm not saying any kind of non-consensual shots.
Yeah. I will say it was quite hard to watch this movie because of Scary Movie.
Oh, yeah.
And a general comment, the guy in Scary Movie who plays the rip-off of Ryan Phillippe's character
Yes.
in this, I was like, I don't like him. He's going so over the top with his acting. But then now I'm like, since watching the actual movie, I'm like, well, he nailed it. Because Ryan Philippe goes way too far.
But also Ryan Felipe has moments where he's actually good as well.
Yeah. He's not the worst actor in it.
And generally speaking, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
These four, actually, before we go on a little bit further, what should we rate the alcoholicness of the movie? I'm going to give it a 2 because he gets very drunk. And it is his whiskey that causes Freddie Prinze Jr. to frown his way into mowing someone down.
Yeah, I agree with the 2.
It is story-related alcoholicness.
I feel like he did a lot of drinking in the year that we skipped as well.
And I think he's drinking when they go back to visit him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because he drinks to deal with the fact that they may or may not have murdered someone or left someone to die or may not have.
Yep.
And whereas Jennifer Love Hewitt just
Doesn't
did
sleep.
nothing.
She didn't sleep for a year. They made her look terrible. And then they were like, Ryan Philippe says something to them both. They both look like shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar still looks all right.
You look like shit run over twice, is what he says. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar's run over once and Jennifer Love Hewitt's run over twice.
Yes.
The alcoholicness of this movie is a 2 and the cocktail is 4.25.
Yeah.
So that's a good score.
That's a good...
Out of 10, the alcoholic score is 6.25, maths.
So good.
Speaking of not sleeping, where Jennifer Love Hewitt has not slept is the one bit of representation in the whole movie. The one scene that has her black roommate in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're going home and then drives her home, even though I think that they're not from around the same area.
No, because there's no black people in Southport.
So she went to Boston.
Yep.
So drove her all the way from Boston to North Carolina.
North Carolina, yep.
I don't know how far that is.
It's on the coast, and Boston is north coast. We got to fact check things like this in movies. From Boston to Southport, North Carolina.
It's a 12-hour drive.
Americans just drive places.
It's a 12-hour... You know what? She could have got a $244 flight non-stop to Charlotte, North Carolina. Or actually, probably more close to Wilmington, because that's on the coast.
Yeah, I think they said Wilmington at some point. I've got something to do with a town to mention later, actually.
So do I.
Yeah.
No.
Representation is a 0.25.
It's almost nothing.
Because she has 3 lines one you see her and the other one is behind the frosted door of the shower block at the end.
Yeah, it was very weird. But yeah, it's a 0.25. The representation's quite bad. It's a very white fishing village.
Yes, no queers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a... Yeah.
You might be able to guess the score for this one. Did I cry?
I'm going to go with a 0.
A 0 for crying. I've got no attachment to these characters whatsoever. They are beautiful, though.
They're all right looking. They're very good looking people.
You couldn't, in 1997, you couldn't have picked 4 better looking young people in actors, I reckon.
Yeah. I was like, I looked up their ages, right? Because,
Yep.
notorious, they overage people.
Yes, and I saw a meme the other day that put the ages of all of the Grease cast.
Yeah.
Stockard Channing's like 35 playing a
Yeah.
17-year-old.
And because I also thought Freddie Prinze Jr. looked a fair bit older than the rest of them.
Yeah, that could have been because he just frowned the whole time.
So I looked it up, but he's not the oldest.
No, he's not. Anne Hesh is.
She doesn't count.
Oh, Paul went out.
Poor one. Oh, sorry,
Anne.
Anne Hesh.
Sorry.
Hesh?
She came on. I don't know what. I was tired when I watched it. She came on the screen. I was like, oh, she's dead. Sorry, Anne.
Oh, sorry, Anne. Yes, because I was like, Jennifer Love Hewitt. I was like, Jennifer Love Hewitt looks well aged. You know what I
Yes. mean? Appropriate
age.
Yeah.
And then I thought Freddie Prinze Jr. looks about 28.
Yeah.
He was 21.
Oh.
So they're all around like 20.
Oh, Ryan Felipe's the oldest.
Yeah. So they're all 18
And
to 23.
Johnny Galecki
Yeah.
of Big Bang fame.
Yeah, it looks really weird with that glasses on.
Yeah, he's good, though. He's a good actor. It's a shame that he's spent 10 years of his life in a shit sitcom.
He spent 3 years of his life in a good one and kept going for 7 more.
And it's a shame he can't go back to Roseanne because
Ooh,
Roseanne's
they
not...
tried that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So crying
they're
is a
very,
0, isn't
they're
it?
very good-looking people. The producers deliberately sought out good-looking people.
Well,
Like they
I
said,
think
we wanted good-looking people that people would identify with.
they are not relatable in the
No,
slightest.
they're not. Melissa Joan Hart was offered a role.
Yes.
She turned it down because she thought it was going to be a rip-off of Scream, even though Scream is like a meta satire rip-off of slashers anyway. This was like Sarah Michelle Gellar was in Buffy at this time,
Yeah.
and Jennifer Love Hewitt
she
had
in
just
Party
come
of
off
Five?
Party of Five.
Right.
So they were big names. And Ryan Felipe was a big name. This is the 4 of them at their peak, I reckon.
Yep.
And Ryan Felipe
Cruel
kept going.
Cruel
Yeah.
Intentions is peak.
Ryan Felipe kept going. Clearly, Scooby-Doo 2 was Freddie Prinze Jr.'s peak.
Was it 2?
I don't know, probably. Maybe Scooby-Doo 1 was the peak because that was the year that he also married Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Michelle
Michelle Gellar, whatever. I'm just...
Well, Reese Witherspoon was also
they're all
thinged.
3 names. It's going to take forever to record this episode if we say they're 3 names every time.
Reese Witherspoon auditioned for a role.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then she's like, nah. But hey, Ryan, do you want a role in this thing? I thought you'd be good in it. Like,
Oh, really?
because they were dating at the time,
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah. And
This is when...
she was like, I don't think I want this movie, but hey, Ryan, you need work. Do you want, like, is that how the conversation went down?
Well, they wanted, like, a proper, like, big football guy to play
Yeah.
it. And they were, like, 6'2", American football quarterback. But Ryan Philippe impressed them enough that they gave it to him even though he's not 6'2".
He does look like a jock, though.
He's very jockish.
Yeah.
And I don't know if quarterbacks are generally always big. They just have to be able to throw far.
Well, they're usually tall, I think.
So they can throw over
So
people.
they can see over, all the other people.
Yeah, and throw high.
I don't know. I don't really watch the football.
Or know much about it other than the quarterback throws and there's
Quarterback
tight
throws
ends.
and people run, and there's tight ends and wide receivers.
Yes. Remember that, the porn parody of I Know What You Did Last Summer, where Ryan Felipe plays a wide receiver. And he really does get a hook in him.
Oh, God.
Anyway, I didn't cry.
No.
And that leads us well into our horniness. Archie, the H in Archie Q De Niro stands for horniness. I didn't realise her breasts were so ample, Freddie Prinze Jr. says about Sarah Michelle Gellar. And then we see how big Jennifer Love Hewitt's tits are. And I'm like, what are you looking at Sarah Michelle's for?
Yeah.
Because
he won't let her touch him.
Oh, that's true.
Well, he's probably not touching Sarah's either.
But he does know...
They barely bloody talk to each other in this movie.
No, that's true. When I said to watch it, I said to Shane, do you want to watch... Which do you want to watch first? Because I was watching two movies. This or the other one. And he goes, oh, let's watch Tits McGee. And I was like, which one is that? And he was like, isn't Jennifer Love Hewitt the one with the big tits? Yes,
Yeah,
apparently she is.
Well, they even make
I
fun
thought
of
he was
that.
talking about Anchorman.
They even make fun of that in Scary Movie. The girl that plays Sarah Michelle... Wait. She's
Anna Faris plays Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Anna
surely.
Faris plays a combination. In Scary Movie 1, Anna Faris plays a combination of Jennifer Love Hewitt and the main one from Scream.
Nev Campbell.
I think so.
Yeah.
Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney's the main one from Scream.
Yeah.
Anna Faris plays Cindy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Shannon Elizabeth, I think, plays Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay.
Right? And because she does the pageant thing.
Jennifer Love Hewitt and Nev Campbell were sisters in Party of Five too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And then, so she does the pageant thing, so she's that. And,
Okay.
and they joke about that. She's like, Cindy, Anna Faris goes, yeah, and they'd probably get somebody like Jennifer Love Huge Tits to play me.
They did. She has got huge tits.
Impact.
So I didn't realise...
Horny teens.
Horny teens. When Ryan Felipe wants to drive home, the way that Sarah Michelle Gellar convinces him not to is she says, sit in the back, I'll let you do things to me.
Yeah, and then he doesn't. And then he puts on music.
And gets out
And
the
then-
sunroof.
Yeah, okay.
And Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt lose their virginity on the beach next to the fire, so we don't have to see any yarbos.
Yeah, if you don't see it, but then we know they did it because later on, while he's driving, she looked at him all like, oh.
Well, no, because they walk out of the dunes together with a half smile.
Like, ooh,
Oh, we did it.
I've got sand in my vagina.
And then she doesn't have sex for a year.
You wouldn't want your first time to be on the beach.
No. They didn't even have a towel.
You wouldn't want any time to be on the beach. That's just messy.
Yeah, only sex on the beach cocktail is good.
We'll have that in the future, sex on the beach cocktail.
Then she doesn't have sex for a year because she doesn't sleep either. And Freddie Prinze Jr. lives on a boat. So, but then when she, at the end, is all guilt-free for some reason, she rings Ray and they like plan their sex romp for the summer.
Yeah.
Like, you can ravage me in 2 weeks. You found a quote for it too.
Well, yeah.
Do you remember where that's from?
So it was like Sarah Michelle Gellar, I think.
Yes.
Or one of the girls was like, in the future, this is what will happen. It was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
I'll go to New York and be this and become that.
I'll be
and
on my
then-
3rd season of this TV show.
Yeah, and you'll be quarterback for the Steelers, and then we'll have a house, and then I'll let you impregnate me.
Yeah. And
like,
then she's
wow.
like, and then you'll get out of rehab.
Yeah, I was like, jeez.
So it's the scenes that are horny are very horny, I think.
But it's only like pre-murder.
I reckon it's
All the drinking and the horniness is pre-murder.
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say a 2.
Because it's not for much of the movie and it doesn't really have an impact on the story.
Or does it? Because, like they said, they were talking about the story, right? The fake horror story.
Okay.
And it's all just a warning about having premarital sex.
Premarital sex.
And then they have the sex on the beach.
And
And then they kill someone.
Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream, is all about that rule: you don't have sex in a horror movie because then you get killed.
Yeah. And what happened?
Someone else died.
Johnny Galecki, who was clearly a virgin, died.
Yeah. Yeah, that's against the rules of his own rules.
Of his own rules.
Kevin Williamson, yes, wrote this, and then they were like, oh no, he wrote Scream. He wrote this before Scream.
Yeah.
And then they made Scream, and Scream was good, so they're like, fuck, let's get this other one out. And they rushed it, and they clearly rushed it.
It's interesting that he could sell Scream, but not this. Is Scream much better?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's meta. And I think the meta-ness helped it.
Right.
Because it's more than just a slasher.
Yeah, this is just a slasher.
Slashers in the 90s, 70s and 80s slashers were a thing.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, they weren't so much. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to pitch a slasher, it's hard because no one watches slashers anymore.
So it's like how in Halloween, they watch an old horror movie in a horror movie, and then in Scream they would have watched Halloween.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so the layers of Scream were something different that made it easier to sell.
Yeah.
And then it was good. Williamson was good. So they made I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is much shitter than Scream, and 2 and 3 are much shitter than 1.
Yeah.
And the
they rushed
TV
it-
series, I watched 4 episodes, and then we keep forgetting that it exists.
They rushed the production so much, nobody had time to go to Ryan Felipe and go, hey, just calm down for a second.
Yeah.
You don't have to yell everything.
And they obviously didn't have a continuity person because she had her hair back in the parade.
They didn't have much of it. They didn't. They didn't have the opportunity to look and see if there was a cameraman visible in the mirror.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh,
I
dear.
can't remember where. I think in the shop, the weird shop that has a lot of creepy mannequins
And a lot of doors.
and a lot of shit.
I don't know what they sell.
No, I don't either do I.
They're obviously a
Something
department
related
store.
to fish, I assume.
Makeup, because that's what... what's her name?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. But what's her name?
Something.
Character name?
They
Not
have
Julie.
really shit names.
Julie, Barry, Ray, Helen.
Helen. Yeah. They have really
Old
shit
names.
Helen Shivers, Ray Bronson, Julie James,
Julie Jones. She's like a superhero.
Barry Williams.
Yeah, boring names. Max. What's Max's name?
Max's name is, just Max.
Oh.
Max. Brian Cox is Barry Cox.
Oh, yeah.
Is his name?
That shop is weird.
Shop is weird.
And that shop is the scene of the location of 2 of my big issues with the film. That sums up my whole issue with the film is that it's very obvious. And in reading up on it, the director and writer were like, we just want to make a slasher film. And
We just want to make a slasher film with pretty people that might get killed.
yes, and one of the things that they said was, we think people will be like, oh, I've seen this before, but and that's okay, but we're going to make them jump anyway. But I didn't jump.
There's only one point where I could have jumped.
Which one?
The bit where the fisherman is pretending to be a mannequin.
Yeah.
Because he somehow has time to slowly walk and catch up with her, which is another whole issue about horror movies.
Yep.
And then get in there and, without her hearing it, put a sheet on him.
Move the other mannequin
Move the other mannequin, put a sheet on him.
and strike a pose.
Yeah.
Madonna
And
style.
just stand there and then go, "Whoa."
No, but the thing is, in that one, when the sister goes to lock the back door, Elsa's a shit name. Sorry,
Yes.
Frozen fans.
Yeah.
When she goes to lock the other door, we see and hear the door clunk. So there's no suspense as to whether he's in the shop. We know he's in the shop because we
Yeah.
just saw the door close.
Yeah.
She locks it. Then she turns around
And then she goes,
and we see the mannequin move. And then the mannequin jumps.
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
well, where's the no suspense?
No.
But also, no blood. The bloodiest thing in the whole movie is Ryan Felipe when he's in top of the car.
Yes.
And that's not even his blood.
The other issue I had, you don't see people die.
No.
You don't see Ryan Felipe die, and you don't see Sarah Michelle Gellar die.
The grossest thing is when he carries the shit sister with the hook.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I found that hilarious. He was just like, "Yep, taking this home." Like, ugh.
Yeah, so you don't.
Oh, the
see...
crabs, the body in the crabs.
Oh yeah,
Were a bit yuck.
really. It's going to be Ryan Felipe that has crabs, not Max.
Well, I don't know. Do you get crabs when you have sex on the beach?
Depends. No.
Depends. No.
The obviousness of everything was too much.
Yep.
And meant that there was no suspense.
Yep.
But then there wasn't enough gore for you to be grossed out.
I could see it. Yeah, exactly.
Like one of the things of Scream is that there's blood. Drew Barrymore runs around bloodied at the start of the movie.
Yeah, like they stab her and her breast implant comes out.
Yeah.
Scary movie.
Scary
Sorry.
movie. Yeah. Moving on to insults.
Yeah.
We've given the horny score.
We just insulted the movie. Now, how insulting is the movie?
How insulting is the movie? Insulting to my brain power?
Insulting to my time because I wasted it.
You go a couple first.
Somebody
calls yours happened
the sister
before
calls
mine.
a dwit with a wit, which I thought was quite witty.
What's a dwit?
Like a twit. A dwit.
Maybe
You're a
she
dwit.
says twit.
Maybe she does say twit.
I thought twit. A twit
with a wit.
twit with a wit.
Maybe it is twit.
Yeah.
I heard dwit.
My
So work on your diction, Sarah. If you work anymore.
or was that Elsa that said twit with a wit?
Oh, maybe it was.
Sarah Michelle, whatever.
Yeah, well, Brigitte Wilson, I don't think you work anymore.
Does Freddie Prinze Jr. work anymore?
No, he's still cashing in on
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo money.
Sarah Michelle Gellar still works, although she shouldn't have to. She's cashing in on the
I'm going to look
Buffy
up Freddie.
money.
Yeah, I'm going to look up Freddie Prinze Jr.
And I'm looking up Sarah Michelle Gellar.
He was in Clerks 3
She won an Emmy Award. Oh,
for Buffy.
I skimmed that and I thought she won an Emmy in 1977. And that's not right. She was born in 1977.
Oh, he does voices in Robot Chicken.
Ah. Which she probably met
And
met Seth Green on the set of Buffy.
There you go. And he was in the new Punky Brewster that went for one season.
Oh.
He has not done a lot. Voices in Star Wars things by the looks of it.
Oh,
As
Sarah
Star Wars
Michelle-
number 2, Stormtrooper number 2.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is in Clerks 3. She was the voice in Masters of the Universe Revelation. She played herself. Oh, she was voices in Robot Chicken. And she's in Do Revenge, which has just come out.
He had his own show, Freddie, called
Freddie
Freddie.
Prinze Jr. show.
Freddie Prinze Jr. had a show called Freddie.
It was like that one we watched the other week, the Robert Cummings show that I'm not sure Robert Cummings was in every episode of.
Yes. And he had a crossover episode with the George Lopez show. So...
Speaking of having your own show, have you heard of the Andy Griffith Show?
Yeah, with what's his face in it?
Andy Griffiths.
They have that thing. And Ron Howard, yeah.
Andy Griffiths plays a sheriff,
A dumb one, yeah?
but a town called Mayberry in North Carolina.
Oh.
Sarah Michelle Gellar calls the cop a shitstick Mayberry ass reject.
Oh, that's
Meta.
random.
It's meta.
Is it a big thing in North Carolina? They don't have many shows that are set in North Carolina.
So that Kevin Williamson's like, I just wrote a whole fucking meta movie in Scream. Can I get one meta line in here? And that's it. Mayberry. So he was so shit of a cop that he was rejected by the one sheriff town of Mayberry.
Yeah. And then obviously, we mentioned it before, but you two should look in the mirror. You look like shit ran over twice.
Yeah, and Max tries to offend Barry by saying, I'll take out your college quarterback ass.
Max also, you know the worst bit of acting? Actually, I'll give Freddie Prinze Jr. a break because I think the writing didn't help. You know, they just hit the bloke.
Yeah.
Which also made me laugh. Scary movie again.
Okay.
So when they, in the bit where they're driving and they hit the guy,
Yes.
somebody goes over and there's a boot. And she picks up the boot. She goes, we hit a boot. So I cracked up laughing when she picked up the boot and I yelled, we hit a boot at the TV. But she didn't say that. And then Max comes, and he's like, "Oh, any problems here?
How can I help you,
yeah,
Max?
Freddie Prinze Jr. walks over and goes, "How can I help you, Max?" And he goes, "You can wipe that my shit don't stink grin off your face." And then he goes, "Okay,
Okay, thank you,
thank
Max.
you."
And then Max still just drives off. You got the rich boy down pat. I feel like there were layers to these characters that we didn't get.
When Freddie Prinze Jr. was saying like, "I don't have the money and the family you do," are we just like, "Oh, he's poor," because he's
poor.
he's the least white of all of them?
Well,
Is that where we were going with that?
Moving on to Enclosure, they all live in big houses and Ray lives on a boat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think there's layers to these characters that we don't get. It's vaguely mentioned that she wants to become an actress. It's vaguely mentioned she wants to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Actually, those three have clear paths. And Ray's like, oh, he's a bit poor and he's going to New York. And I'm not sure what for.
I don't know what for.
To find a...
Could be a model. I don't know.
To find a shaved head philosophy student, according to Jennifer Love Hewitt.
It's all a bit weird. You know what? I feel like they wrote the opening until they killed the guy.
Yep.
Then they wrote this person will die here, this person will die here. She'll work out what's really happening here very quickly and not quite explain it. And then...
But also not very quickly. I'll get back to that.
We'll fill in the rest with shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so if we put this bit and this bit and this bit and this bit together, how long have we got? An hour. I'm like, find half an hour of other shit to fill it in.
All right,
with.
let's have Ray and Barry fight for a bit.
Let's have that.
Let's have Anne Heche gut a fish.
Let's have Max killed for no reason, other than to throw the viewer off the scent that it's him.
Yeah, but I think it would be more off the scent if he wasn't killed.
Because we would still be thinking it could be him.
It could still be him.
But are we meant to think that it's Ray?
But I don't think it's deep enough. There's not any depth to Ray's acting or his story.
Also, why is Jennifer Love Hewitt shocked when the girl who died in the car crash, Susie or whatever her name was, her dad was a fisherman? Every man in that town is a fisherman.
Well, also, why are they shocked that there are people walking around town in slickers?
But would you wear that to the parade?
No, but also, they say themselves.
Everybody has a slicker.
Everybody has a slicker.
You've got a slicker. I'm like, yeah, I'm a fucking fisherman because I have a job in a fishing town.
But also, every second bloke is a fisherman in this town, and every second bloke has a slicker, and they're scared of every one of them. Slicker isn't the determining factor here.
Yeah, it's not It's not what he wears.
It's the fact that he's killing you. That's the difference. But also, you're right. It's the 4th of July parade.
Yeah.
Your slicker's not your Sunday best.
And also, they're scared of every guy in a slicker.
Yep.
Right? Then Jennifer Love Hewitt at the end is running away from Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes.
Then random guy...
He's not wearing a slicker, so...
Isn't wearing a slicker, so he must be fine.
Yeah.
Go run into my boat. Okay, random fisherman, I'll run into your boat.
But then as soon as she sees a hat that every fisherman in the town has, it must be him.
Are you a fucking idiot?
Horror bitches are dumb.
Oh.
That's it. Horror bitches are dumb.
This is why I don't like slasher movies, people.
Well, and this is why one good thing we said...
I'm too intelligent. I'm such a movie snob that I'm too intelligent.
One of the things we said last year about Halloween is that Jamie Lee Curtis is actually reasonably intelligent in the film.
Yeah.
And every other horror bitch isn't, including pre-law Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's going to fucking Harvard.
She's good at
Harvard.
She's good at looking things up to do research.
Yeah. She's good at Googling.
She's good at...
Before Googling.
She's good at Alta
asking
Vista.
Jeeves.
She's good at yahoo.com. But that's about it. Anyway, we haven't actually scored it on insults.
Oh, okay. I skipped on to Enclosure. No, one more thing I got to say about the slickers, right? Every man in the town wears a slicker.
Yep.
They're scared of every man in the town.
Yep.
Until they see his face. But they make a big point of not having seen his face.
Yeah, like
if
Barry gets hit by a car.
If I was the killer, right?
Yeah.
You haven't seen my face because I'm wearing a slicker.
Yeah.
You wear a slicker and turn around. see your face, they go, well, it can't be him. Why?
Well,
Because you haven't seen the killer's face.
There's a guy in a slicker. There's 14 guys in a slicker at the
parade for some reason.
One of them looks weird. So then Ryan Felipe runs after him, tackles him to the ground, and the guy turns around and is like, oh, it's not him.
Yeah, what? How do you know it's not him?
I don't know. Because he said himself he didn't see his face.
But also, that guy, I reckon, is literally having a heart attack. I reckon Ryan Felipe left him there to die again.
Yeah, well, he tackled like a quarterback, softy.
Yeah, they don't tackle.
Quarterbacks are soft.
Are they?
Yeah, because they've got literally the tight ends and the defensive ends around them being like, no, don't hit him. That's what they do. So they snap the ball, right?
You just said like 10 minutes ago you didn't know anything about football.
I've watched Blindside. They snap the ball and then...
Watch Blue Mountain State.
And then the quarterback's meant to throw it or give it to somebody else to run.
Or the quarterback slightly deflates the ball and then throws it if you're Tom Brady, allegedly.
Like 4 people or 3 people whose job it is to stop people tackling the quarterback or sacking him.
And then who's the one that does those stupid big flips like in Starship Troopers?
Are they
the
running
future.
backs?
The future.
They're receivers.
What's that one called?
They're bottoms.
Anyway, your college quarterback ass. I'm going to give it a 2 for insults.
I'm also going to give it a 2. Enclosure, they're big
3.
houses.
It's a 3, except for Ray that lives on a boat and she spends time, but she doesn't sleep in the dorm room.
The big houses.
Yeah.
Definitely suburban fishing town village houses.
Yeah. Ryan Felipe's house is the biggest.
Even Anne Heche's house is the biggest.
Oh, yeah. And she has outbuildings.
Well, actually, no, Ryan Felipe's house is pretty big.
Yeah, but she has outbuildings.
I come from money.
3, quotability.
Did we need to see a close-up of a turkey?
Hanging.
Yeah. Did we need
It
that?
wasn't even Thanksgiving.
That's why I'm like, is it like, 4th of July's over, let's get ready for Thanksgiving. This turkey needs to hang for 3 months.
Coles is already selling. 5th of July, Coles is selling turkeys. We were just meant to think she was creepy. Even though that's the only thing. There's no way I think that she's the killer.
They were trying to set... This is what I thought they were getting at. The way they shot some things, they were trying to make it look like multiple people could be the killer.
Yeah, but then they killed Max.
Max, Anne Heche, the sister...
Ray.
I
didn't think the sister was going to be the killer.
Well, no, because at one point there was this weird shot when Jennifer Love Hewitt and Sarah Michelle Gellar were talking at work.
Oh, and she
quite
was
openly about when they killed someone.
Yeah.
She was like, "Ooh, I'm listening because I know what you did last summer."
Yeah.
But then nothing happened, and she was a bitch.
I actually think clearly the killer was that guy from the frat at Harvard that hosted the pool party. Same handwriting.
Yeah. Hello. How dumb was that, though?
Yeah. Oh, it's a frat party. I'm guilt-free totally for no reason.
I'm guilt-free now.
I'm going to get to that when we get closer to the end of the film.
Gosh.
Quotability, when she stands in the middle of the street and yells, "What are you waiting for?" That's something I've heard before.
You know where I've heard
Scary
it?
movie.
Scary movie.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? And then she gets hit by a bus.
She always gets hit by a bus, Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's
a thing.
It's a thing. It's hilarious. I really wanted to watch Scary Movie after this. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you... Anyway.
One of my favourite lines from that franchise is in Scary Movie 2, and I shouldn't say it.
Is it about the guy with the hand?
No, it's about the driving. I'll say it off air. There's 2 by the same character. What's her name? The friend? The black friend?
Is it the bit where she's driving?
No.
And she's singing along, and then the radio's like, "Shut the fuck up!"
No, I have 2 favourite lines from Scary Movie 2. The black friend is a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, in Scary Movie 3. Yeah.
Oh, is it 3?
Yeah, 3.
And she's going on about how good she is as a teacher and nice and kids. And then one of the kids, then she goes, "Who the fuck threw that?" And then the
And
other
then
one,
the other one is
I
in
can
also
say it, it's
a
not
scary movie
racist
3, goes,
because
Cindy, the TV's leaking.
yeah, no, she says, I just have this strange feeling that something's bad going to happen, like when you see an Asian person behind the wheel of a car. I didn't say it, and I don't agree with it, but it's funny in the film. Enclosures are 3, quotability is a 0.5.
For what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
My quotability is as a 0.
Yeah, okay.
Because, no.
No, okay.
So the D of De Niro.
Does quotability count if I want to sing in a swimsuit at some point badly?
If you want to sing in a swimsuit.
Yeah, that was cringe.
She did not have to sit on the stage and watch that.
She didn't want to, and she made that very clear. She could not hide her facial expressions at that moment.
Remember my name.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It was terrible.
She didn't win. Spoiler alert, she didn't win that year.
No one won. They had to call it off because of her breakdown.
She was running. Why did everybody need to stop her? Just let the bitch run.
No, if she wants to go, let her go.
Also, again, shit police.
Yeah, and I couldn't work out if this town is big or small because people seemed to know people, but then the cop didn't know her.
Yeah.
And didn't know Barry.
You'd know Barry. Barry's going to be the star quarterback.
No, Barry's the high school quarterback,
Yeah.
which in America, everybody knows the high school quarterback.
Everybody knows Finn in Glee.
Yeah, especially if they then go on to be a college quarterback. You would know them in American cinema.
You would, because that's the peak of their life.
But he is a shit stick Mayberry reject cop. So
that's
obviously he is new from the Andy Griffith Show.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is good at being a bitch,
Yes.
but also being likable.
That's why they cast her.
Yeah,
One of the quotes from the producers was like, we wanted someone beautiful with a warmth to her who can also be a bitch.
Whereas I don't think Melissa Joan Hart could have been a bitch.
Well, and originally
'Cause
Jennifer
then
Love Hewitt
Sabrina
was
would
offered.
have taken a turn.
Yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt was offered Helen, but I don't think Tits
No,
McGee could
no.
have been as bitchy.
No, she's too innocent.
She's too scared the whole time. She's weak.
Well, she might have done it. It's a different character, but I can't.
That's
I
true.
can see that it work. I think it would have.
It does work.
work better this way.
All right, we've
That
done
wasn't good
Archie
English.
and we've done Q. Now we're into De Niro, and the D stands for drink.
Oh, speaking of drink,
It's a good one.
cocktail's going down a treat.
It's very summary. Apologies to everyone that can hear our metal straws clinking on the glass, but we don't want to kill any turtles on this podcast. Okay?
That's on our other podcast.
With a hook. No, not
Hook?
even with a fish hook. Hook, line, and sinker, or?
fish hook,
Yep.
not the. I get they're a fisherman, right? Whatever.
Yep.
Not the greatest weapon.
I have an issue with the Foley man,
The Foley man.
the one that makes the sound effects.
Oh,
You know
of the
Foley where you
constant
make
metal
the,
on metal.
the real things in a
Yeah.
little recording booth.
Yeah.
That's what Foley is.
Okay.
The hook, when it goes into someone, has too much of a thud and not enough of a stabby sound.
Because if you'd have to really, you'd go uppercut, or you'd have to go down and slice them from an angle.
You couldn't go
'Cause you
into
can't
someone's
just
heart.
slash them like a knife.
You have to go up under the rib cage
Yeah.
or up the whatsit.
Or up the chin.
Yeah, you have to uppercut, but that's very high.
Yeah. And I don't have the strength in my elbow.
No.
He might from hooking fish all day.
Well, that's what he does, so he
It has
probably
been a
has the
bad-
skills.
Had been a bad season. Also, if you were there and you had been away for your whole year, you come back, do you want fish? I'm like, I'm sick of fish, bitch. I don't want fish for dinner. Come on, mum.
Well, no, I would, because in Boston, is fish a thing? Yes, it is.
Yeah, like cod. Like Cape cod.
Yeah,
They
okay.
eat fish.
Yeah.
Or they're more clams. Or
Massachusetts.
they cohog clams.
Massachusetts does have a coast.
Yeah.
That's not. Lots of places have coasts.
Yeah.
Drink.
Sarah
or
Michelle
Pepsi?
Gellar, when she comes home and her terrible dad ignores her,
And also ignores her when she squeals the house down and smashes the mirror.
and just the random guy in it, the fisherman just walks in.
Yep.
She drinks a Diet Coke.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
2 points.
2 points.
Well done. That's your highest score so far.
That bit where she smashed the mirror, that was terrible. She smashed the mirror, then it edited again, and she punched it again, but it wasn't smashed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't notice
What's
that.
they write on it? Whore? What's they
Soon.
write? Soon. Not whore.
Whore is probably from Scary Movie.
I don't know. It's from something. Oh. Yeah,
No,
probably.
whore's in something.
Whore.
Very good handwriting with all manner of implements.
How do
He writes as well with a Sharpie as he does with a lipstick,
Yep.
as he does with his finger on fogged glass.
Yeah.
No run even.
Yeah.
Like when you write with condensation, it's water and the thing runs, but not if you're the fisherman.
You write, I know, or I still know,
Yes.
setting up a sequel.
Yep.
That would fog over again in the
Yeah.
amount of time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because there's a fuckload of steam in there.
there's a
She's
fuckload of
put
steam.
one shower on and
There's
turned
as
that
much-
whole thing into a
There's
Russian
as much
bathhouse.
steam in that as there is in the end of Fatal Attraction.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of hot water going
That was steamy. There's as much steam in that as in that Russian bathhouse in John Wick, where he kills all the people.
on. There's more steam in that than there is in Steamboat Willie. It's the only thing I could think about with steam.
Steamy. It's not even a steamy romance between Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, because he gets his rocks off and then dumps her.
No, she dumps him,
They did commit manslaughter.
but they didn't.
We're all
Which
going
I'm
to
gonna
fry
get
for
to.
this.
Endurance is the first E in De Niro. There's only one E in De Niro. It's the second E in Archie Q De Niro.
Yes.
Endurance. No special effects issues that I noticed.
No, because there's nothing.
It's fairly real.
The special effects aren't special.
They're not particularly 90s dressed, I think.
No.
Other than the singlet and jeans that Ryan Filippo wears for a lot of it.
Yeah, that's just very marky mark.
And dog tags.
I don't know. Why do we need dog tags?
Do people still wear dog tags now in the America?
I don't know. Unless you've been in the army. I don't know.
And he hasn't been in the army. He's been a college quarterback ass.
He's been doing nothing for a year.
Been doing cheerleaders.
Do
Do you think they did that on purpose, though? They made it very, like, a bit neutral so it might not age well enough, or they just rushed it and didn't have time to make a costume department?
Yeah, I don't think they made costumes. I think they just
rocked
said,
up?
like, call on the call sheet, it's like, Jennifer, you have to be here at 2 p.m. Bring whatever clothes you've got in your wardrobe.
Yeah. And
Bring your party of 5 outfits.
Bring your party of 5 outfits, but we'll alter them so there's a little bit more cleavage.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't playing a little girl anymore. Endurance.
She was annoying. Oh, it still stands up. Okay.
Yeah. Other than the representation we've already talked about, endurance-wise, Google's still... Well, searching things on the internet is very much still a thing.
Her laptop looked old.
Yeah.
But
It
hey.
reminded me of the laptops I had in high school.
I almost want to say a 3.
I'm going to say a 3.5.
Yeah, because the overall
gonna
how
say-
the movie is made and everything stands up. The thing that's bad about the movie isn't about how the movie looks. It's the story's average and the acting's terrible.
Yeah, but that's not an endurance thing. You
No.
can make an ordinary story now. They made up for the representation by replacing Ryan Felipe.
With a Wayans brother, yeah.
No, they replaced Ryan Felipe and Sarah Michelle Gellar
Because they're dead.
with. Let me just look it up. Well, it's going to take ages because I've got to type so many words.
Why don't just go...
No, because I want to say who it was. Because they replaced them with 2 black people. One of them is Brandy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Brandy, and Makey Pfeiffer.
Mackay Pfeiffer
Mackay Pfeiffer, that's it.
from ER.
Oh, well, there you go.
And
There's
8
your
Mile.
connection.
And Bill Cobbs. There you
Sorry,
go.
I said your name wrong, Mackay.
Who's in 8 Mile that is referenced in Scary Movie 3. There you go.
Oh, okay.
It's all very random.
It was one of his earliest films.
Mm.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Anyway, that's how they corrected course in terms of representation.
He's best known for ER.
Endurance, I'm actually going to give it a 4
Okay.
because it's not a good movie, but it still works.
Yeah.
It still looks fine. And unfortunately, they're still casting movies with 4 white leads, so it could still be made in 2022.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
going back again, nostalgia.
Nah.
I remember the fishing village, and I remember the guy with the hook.
I have more nostalgia, as people may have guessed throughout this episode, for Scary Movie than this.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Scary Movie in the cinema, which I might have been too young for, Dad.
As much as I'm not okay with the Wayans for producing Damon Wayans Jr., who was in that show we don't like. I know we did like him.
We do like
We
it.
do like him. He's my favourite Wayans, the junior.
Right.
Scary Movie's good. Their piss take films are good.
1's the best, then 3, then 2, then 4, then 5.
All right. They're going to do a 6?
There you go. I hope not.
Yeah, no, move
But
on.
if they do...
I did have a mate in high school who was very into slasher films.
Oh, really?
Very into Scream. He was into slasher films, but he was also very into Scream because he thought it made him look like a movie intelligent person. Because Scream was very meta, and
Okay.
his being into it was him being movie cool. Hope he's not listening. He's not listening. So my nostalgia for this isn't from watching it; it's from him being into it.
Okay.
I'm
I'm going to give my nostalgia a 0.5.
going to give my nostalgia a 1
Okay.
because I'm also nostalgic a bit for that time. There was no matte paintings though,
No matte paintings.
and no credits before the movie.
I did like the opening shot going over the coast.
Yeah, that was well done.
But
They
the
didn't even have drones in 1997 either.
The font was shit. Like the font they used for the credits,
I don't remember.
Was
Was it just
shit.
boring?
it was like word art.
Oh.
It was just like white with bold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Like our I use for our reels.
yeah, but we're not on a $14 million budget
No,
or whatever
that's
this
true.
was on.
We didn't have the money from Mandalay Productions.
No.
And their little opener of the things in the tiger reminded me of that scene in Family Guy where
Hey,
Peter
Family
and-
Guy reference.
Peter and Brian go to the cinema.
Yeah.
And he's like, Peter's like, I can't tell what's the start of the movie and what's the production things.
Yep.
And then there's one that's like, Man with Wounded Shoulder Productions. He's like, oh, come on. I've got the link for that. We can share it on our socials. So what was that in reference to? Nostalgia?
Nostalgia.
2.
You've given it okay. You've just upped it.
Yeah, 2. Why not?
Okay.
Impact, 2 sequels that were shit. TV series that I lost interest in halfway through.
I mean, Scary Movie.
If I was a boomer, I would say I would criticize the TV series for being woke.
Oh,
Because
okay.
there's twin girls and like everyone in the town is bisexual.
Yep.
And there's different races and one of the twins has an OnlyFans,
Yep.
but they don't say OnlyFans.
All right. They call it something else.
Yeah. And I would... It's a thing that boomers do. When something is shit, they say it's shit because of its wokeness, not because of the reason it was
Not
shit.
because it's shit. Like people so the new Queer as Folk got cancelled after 1 season.
Yeah.
They were like, people were saying it got cancelled because the networks doesn't want this diversity. Like, no, it got cancelled because it was kind of shit.
Because there was not a single character in the movie other than that boy's mum that was likable.
Yeah.
The only 2 people I liked in the 4 episodes I watched were the drag mother and that kid's actual mother.
Yeah.
Juliet Walters.
Juliet Lewis. Yeah.
Juliet Lewis and the drag mother were the only likable people.
Yeah.
And they're minor characters.
Even the guy in the wheelchair. Asshole.
Yeah. Boomers did it for the grand final halftime entertainment, right? It was terrible because the sound was off and they couldn't hear
Yes.
themselves and they were singing out of tune. But then boomers were like, oh, it's terrible because it was the non-binary drummer and the Indigenous singers. Like, no. That non-binary drummer is super talented. And
They were the best bit about it.
those Indigenous singers were Christine Anu.
Yeah.
She's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that performance wasn't good for other reasons. Anyway, any
Impact.
boomers listening, pull your head in.
Impact, it gave us Scary Movie, which then gave us 4 more movies.
Yes.
There is
Family Guy.
There's Simpsons,
Yes, of course.
of a treehouse
Of horror.
of horror,
Yep.
and it's called I Know What You Diddly Did.
Oh, yeah, I remember that
And
one.
he's got a slicker on.
Ned Flanders has a slicker, which must mean he's a killer until you see his face, and then maybe it's not him.
Yeah.
This is credited, along with Scream, of bringing back the popularity of the slasher genre as well.
What other slashers were in the 90s? Like, if Scream Scream happened, then they went, oh, Scream was good, we'll do I Know What You Did last summer. But then other than the sequels to those 2 movies,
That's true, actually.
I can't think of any. Oh, okay.
Apparently, the Cabin in the Woods slasher.
But that's like 20 years later, nearly.
That's true. And this IndieWire list of the best slasher movies has a lot of early movies,
If you
like 1980, 1970s.
if they have on the list, if they have this on the list, I lost all credibility for them.
The IndieWire. And
Impact.
then in Yahoo, so I've just searched for slasher movies, right? People also ask, One of the questions is, why do slasher movies turn me on?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Your horror-induced horniness has a lot to do with your body's physiological response to fear, explains Dr. Holly Richmond.
God.
That's on our Patreon. No.
That's impacted me.
Ooh.
I will give
I'm going
this
to give it an
impact
impact.
of 2.5.
I'm giving it a 3.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Because it did bring back a generation of slasher movies, even if it was only 2 franchises.
It's getting 0.5 point for a Simpsons episode. Although, could we give it impact because did it boost the career of the 4 leads?
No.
It didn't boost it.
I think
They
Sarah
were
Michelle
already
Gellar would still have been Sarah Michelle Gellar because of Buffy without.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think it boosted the other 3, I
It
reckon.
boosted Ryan Felipe's career.
Yeah, and I reckon it boosted Freddie Prinze Jr. He wouldn't have got Scooby-Doo if not for this.
He wouldn't have got Sarah Michelle Gellar if not
That's
for this.
true. Jennifer Love Hewitt could have gone a bit into obscurity after Party of 5 if not for this.
That's true.
2.5?
Was she? That can't be right. She was in Party of 5 before this.
Yeah.
She was like 18 when this came out.
Yeah, she played a kid.
Oh, I thought they were all like adults that lived together.
No, Party of 5 is an American television teen, and that's The Secret Life of Us you're thinking of. Or 5 Bedrooms.
No, I'm thinking of what I thought the show was without ever having watched it.
There's a TikTok that does that.
They
don't do it well.
I remember seeing the ads for it on Channel 10 when it was on, but never watched it.
The series featured an ensemble cast led by Scott Wolf as Bailey, Matthew Fox as Charlie, Nev Campbell as Julia, and Lacey Chabert as Claudia Salinger, who with their baby brother Owen constitute 5 siblings whom the series follows after the loss of their parents in a car accident.
That's what I thought. They were like 5 people living together.
No, they're 5 siblings who Scott Wolf needs to essentially raise
Why is it called Party then?
because some parties are depressing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wake? It should be called Wake of 5.
Oh. Notable co-stars included Scott Grimes, Paula DeVeek,
Scott Grimes?
Michael Gorgian, Jeremy London, and Jennifer Love Hewitt. She wasn't even one of the siblings. She looks more like she fits that family than Matthew Fox does.
Yeah.
Oh, she played Bailey's sensitive, often on girlfriend from high school who struggles to find herself after she finds out that she was adopted.
Wait,
So she's got drama as well.
her name is first name Bailey, last name Sensitive.
Yeah, no. Bailey is Scott Wolf. Jennifer Love Hewitt plays Bailey's sensitive girlfriend.
Oh, fuck. All right. I thought that Jennifer Love Hewitt played Bailey Sensitive.
No, Jennifer Love Hewitt as Sarah Reeves Merrin.
Okay.
Bailey's sensitive.
Should I watch Party of Five?
She's not a drag queen. Bailey sensitive.
Bailey Sensitive. God.
We're on to rewatchability.
I'm going to be honest.
I wrote...
pretty low.
Yeah.
I wrote pretty low. Okay. It's a slasher movie, which I don't care for.
Yes.
The acting's bad. It's not like
You
thrilling
picked this.
in any
Listeners,
way.
You picked this.
I know. Meh. I probably would maybe watch it again, but I'm not going to watch... You know...
You'd have to have left it for a while.
Even then, I'm going to be like, oh, I didn't like that. No, can we watch something else?
I like horror movies. If I have a Saturday night home alone by myself, which sounds terrible.
Why? That's what... that was,
Yeah.
that's my life.
When I don't see either you or mum, which apparently they're the only two people in my life.
Yeah. Not even your husband.
I'll watch a horror movie.
Yeah.
I'll watch three things. Back to the Future, Hairspray, or a horror movie.
Yeah, okay.
And I started to watch this recently because as I was watching this time, I was like, oh, I remember this. I remember this. And then about 20 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I don't remember this. And that's when I realized that I'd watched 20 minutes of it recently and then switched it off.
Okay.
So that makes it a rewatchability of a 1.
All right.
1 out of 5. 20 minutes out of a 2-hour movie is the right percentage.
Rewatchability, I'm going to do a 0.5. I didn't like it, so I'm not going to actively rewatch it.
No.
But if somebody says, I'm bored, let's put something on in the background. Hey, I know what you did last time. Actually, no, because I have to rent it.
Yeah. Sorry, listeners. We got to get better at picking movies that are free or on a streaming.
Or that are good. Yeah, so I'm not going to watch it again. If somebody suggests it, I might have my arm twisted.
What else are we going to talk about? I like that Max, before we do the overall score, I like that Max is the loser, but he's not pathetic. Like he's got some attitude and he has a go at Barry and it's not just like, oh, Max, you loser. And then he goes, oh, and slinks off into the corner.
Yeah.
To be
He fights back a bit.
Slayed on an ice heap. The only thing Freddie Prinze Jr. does well is frown. I've said that a few times in this episode.
I had a problem with the end.
Oh, me too.
Not the
Don't
end.
worry about that.
The pre-end.
Not the
where
jump
she
out of
goes-
the shower end.
Where she goes... That's fucking dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Where she goes on the boat and then she goes through like a fucking labyrinth to try and get away from him.
Oh, and she finds the bodies in the ice.
She finds the bodies in the ice, which and then Freddie Prinze Jr. is on some fishing net, and he climbs his way back on a fishing net.
He's on the fastest dinghy in the world.
Yeah,
to catch up
and
to
then
that big
he catches
boat.
up, and then he things, and then he does that face that he does,
Frowns.
and then he looks fucking stupid, and then he goes in this thing, and then he climbs on this boat, and then he gets on the boat, and he's dry, and then they ding, and then he perfectly times swinging the hook and hitting the fucker in the face,
Yep.
which doesn't break his face at all.
No, maybe he hit it in the side of his face.
And then this
Guy's been hit by a car and drowned and survived.
And then
Don't worry about getting hit in the face.
the elaborate way that he's got the hook thing, and then the rope
No.
ties around
His hand just happens to go up into the rope,
goes
number
up
one.
into the rope, then he gets taken off, and then the arm goes up in the thing, and the ropey bit, and then it chops his arm off cleanly.
Clean.
Then he falls, but is caught. His legs are also caught in rope.
Yeah.
And then he hangs upside down, and then they pull. Then later on, they pull a fucking net out of the thing, and his hand is still grasping
Hooked
the
into
hook.
the net. Yep.
His hand would not do. He would not still be closed.
No, there's issues. My
issue... it was just like, we have to get them out of this thing. There's only one way.
My issue with the ending is that they just like have no guilt anymore.
Oh, they were just like, oh well, we didn't kill him. We're
anyone.
fine.
But you did just kill him.
In self-defense.
Yeah, but they had no guilt from the year before when they hit someone with a car and then threw him into the water and left him there to die.
And then they knew he wasn't dead, but still threw him in the water.
Yeah. But then felt guilty for a year. But then because he didn't actually die, all that guilt was gone.
Because he was a baddie now.
No, but he was a baddie because you left him to drown. Oh, but maybe he was already a baddie. He killed David Egan.
Did he?
Maybe.
Is that what happened?
Yes, because the note that Anne Hesh said was a suicide note was written in the same flawless, perfect handwriting.
Oh, as the lipstick and
almost
the thing.
like the production company printed it rather than someone wrote it. Was in the same handwriting given to David Egan because he blamed David Egan for his daughter Chrissy's death. Susie's death. So he pushed him off the cliff.
Yeah.
Anne Hesh convinced herself it was suicide of guilt, but it was really murder of guilt.
Yes.
And now because they've killed a murderer, they have no guilt and are happily going on with their lives.
But they didn't kill him.
Because he's in the shower.
Because he's in the shower.
So does that mean the guilt comes back or...
I don't know. Should we watch the sequel?
I just feel like it was just a bit like, I haven't slept in a year. Oh, but now I'm fine. Now I'm on the Dean's list.
Yeah. Now on the Dean's list and my boobs have grown.
Yeah, because...
Her boobs look bigger at the end.
She's getting sexy times. Also, I want movie quality towels. The way Jennifer Love Hewitt walks around in a towel and the way Ryan Felipe walks around in a towel, if I did that, my towel always falls off. Maybe I don't have the boobs to hold it up.
Maybe because they like fucking tie it up. I don't know.
I need movie quality. Not that I walk around in the towel a lot, but they're very good.
I found this little tidbit.
Okay.
Lois Duncan, who wrote a young adult novel that this was based off, right? She was vehemently opposed.
I like the word vehemently.
To the novel being reworked into a slasher film, stating she was appalled in one interview. This was due to the fact that her youngest daughter was murdered by an unknown assailant in 1989.
Ooh, ah.
Yeah. She said, as the mother of a murdered child, I don't find violent death something to squeal and giggle about. Well, I also don't think you meant to giggle at this movie.
Yeah, that's
I did.
That's a scary movie.
Her original book wasn't that far from a slasher. It's a bunch of guilty teenagers being stalked and terrorized by a murderous madman. Well, it's just that nobody dies in her version.
Yeah, I think her book is more of a suspense thing.
Maybe they should have just made it that way instead.
They changed the setting.
Especially when you don't see anybody die.
Yeah, there's no suspense in the movie at all. It was a bit more suspenseful, I think, the book from what I'd read, and had more of a moral to it. Don't leave someone to die.
All right. A moral it's not don't have premarital sex.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let your daughter get murdered. That's all I've got to say about it.
Yeah.
Other than our Wednesday wisdom is if you're going to kill someone, make sure they're dead. Is that the best wisdom that we've got out of the film?
My Wednesday wisdom would be don't waste your time watching the movie.
Don't watch I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Overall, I'm going to give it a 1.5.
I'm going to give it the same, actually. 1.5. I'm
giving it... Okay.
Freddie
Prinze Jr.
How is M-E-K-H-I Mackay? Mackay Pfeiffer. We're still open a tab on my thing.
Oh, Mackay Pfeiffer.
M-E-K-H-I.
Mackay.
M-C-K-A-Y.
M-E-K-H-I. M-E-K-H-I. Mackay.
Mackay
Pfeiffer.
Mackay Pfeiffer.
No relation.
No, because it's spelled differently, as is Mackay.
Dr. Greg Pratt.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you saying something about FPJ.
He is terrible.
Yep.
if this was the first thing I'd ever seen him in, I would be like, this guy's awful. Actually, I can't think of many things I've seen him in. But
This,
also, if he didn't look how he looked,
Scooby-Doo.
he wouldn't have a career.
Oh, he's a very pretty man.
Neither would Ryan Felipe
He can
or
act,
Jennifer
though.
Love Hewitt.
He can act. Though,
Ryan
Freddie
Felipe
Prinze
is
Jr.
very good in Cruel Intentions.
Is Freddie Prince Jr. in that one that Fred Savage is in, or Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in? Oh, he's in She's the Man, Freddie Prince Jr.?
Yeah, with what's her face? Nev Campbell.
Is it?
Is it Nev Campbell?
He is in I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did. She's All
She's
That.
all that.
Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Oh, there you go.
He's not been in much. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it looks like he's done a lot of voice work.
Yeah, that's true.
Jack
Jack and Jill versus the World.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is probably the best actor out of the four in this movie.
Ryan Felipe has good moments.
When he was over the top, he was over the top.
Oh, that's what I know him from relatively recently, Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my
Ryan
thoughts.
Felipe had good moments, but yes, he had some over-the-top things.
It's
Jennifer
not
Love Hewitt was a bit over-the-top as well in the scaredness.
It's not his daughter.
One thing, actually, before I'm going to do the final bit.
Okay. Your final thoughts, Lee?
She takes forever and then rocks up to the hall and is like, why is this over?
Why did we need that shot? We didn't need that shot. Sarah Michelle Gellar is running for her life away from Hookman, who, catches up to her by walking. And she runs into her fucking tires. Anyway, and then while that is happening, cut to Jennifer Love Hewitt going into the hall being like, where is everybody?
But also, she took her damn sweet time Googling. I know internet's slow back in 1997.
Well, she was on dial-up and her dad was watching porn.
Yeah,
so it was
true.
like she had to wait and somebody was on the phone.
Somebody got on the phone.
Yeah.
Alta Vista is slower than Ask Jeeves. But she took forever, but then was
dial-up.
surprised that the event had ended in the hall.
Yeah.
Then she got to the street and was surprised that the parade had ended. I'm like,
Yeah.
you've been on the internet for 4 hours. What do you think? They're just waiting for you to come back.
And then, and then she goes, Ray. I don't know, fucking hell. It was all a bit shit.
1.5.
1.5. So overall,
Yep.
the score for I Know What You Did Last Summer is a 37.5.
Oh, that's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. A 37.5, which is the
Out of
same
100, though. That's
Yeah.
not good.
which is the same as Gattaca.
I think Gattaca's better than this. Can I change my score for Gattaca?
Well, I think that this has more. The things we scored it high on are the endurance.
True. Gattaca didn't have Coke or Pepsi in it either.
The endurance in the house
Yeah.
and the cocktail.
The cocktail's
The
better
three
than the Gattaca
highest
cocktails.
scores are endurance. The highest score out of anything is 4.25 for the cocktail
For the
that
cocktail.
I made.
Yeah,
I'll
well
take
done.
that.
The important things in the film.
Yeah.
How good the cocktail is. We're going to take a break. I'm going to get another drink, and then we're going to do some reviews of this, and I'm going to give you a trivia maybe on what
What next week
coming
is.
next.
I can't wait. 2 Drink Cinema. Let's
Okay.
go.
Some Google reviews. Have you got a good one to start
I'll
with?
start with a 5-star.
All right.
Emily, this person, her and I don't agree on this movie. She's given it 5 stars. The best movie I've ever seen in my life.
Incorrect.
I find a lot of horror films to be a bit boring and low on context and don't focus on the characters much, but not this one. This movie was captivating and so intense. The acting was amazing, especially Ryan Felipe and Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm not a big fan of Jennifer Love Hewitt, but her acting was fairly good in this. Freddie Prinze Jr. has less scenes, but he played his role great as well. This film was so different from most slashers, and it actually held my interest. The plot twists and jump scares kept my heart racing. I found it depressing because personally I think the wrong characters were killed. But the movie was incredible. I seriously recommend it. I don't understand how anybody could think that.
It has no context, and the acting is ordinary.
I don't know how anybody could watch Ryan Felipe's performance and say it was great.
I think you are moonlighting as this person on a Google review.
Oh, here we go.
1 star.
Yep.
My first exposure to I Know What You Did Last Summer was through Scary Movie. So the whole movie, I couldn't get that movie out of my head. For example, in the part where Sarah Michelle Gellar's character picks up the bloody welly boot after running over the guy, I couldn't help but say, oh my God, they hit a boot.
Yes.
But where is the foot? Also, this is a point I made.
I forgot about the foot bit.
Also, this has to be the cleanest killer in horror movie history. No blood.
There's only one blood bit. You know where she...
I'm going to give that a helpful.
Elsa.
Yep.
Bang. I'm going to give that one an unhelpful.
Let it go.
14 people found What's Her Face's review. Thank you for
At
your
least
feedback.
14 people.
The
liked
Disturbing
movie.
Panda said, surprisingly decent. Many of the characters provide realistic and
hang on.
believable...
Surprisingly decent is not worthy of 5 stars.
Surprisingly decent. Many of the characters provide realistic and believable acting, which did stand out to me. The concept is pretty cool, but it's displayed even better when the main protagonist finds the message saying, I know what you did last summer, because not only it's creepy, but it also hits on a weak spot to her. Because we clearly see that it was hard for her to get over what she and her friends did, and she's been messed up ever since. Overall, a decent movie.
Yeah, I know. See, the reason he sends the note saying, I know what you did last summer, is because he knows what they did last summer.
Yeah, and because the name of the movie is I know what you did last
And the reason
summer.
that that's scary is because they did a bad thing last summer.
Yeah.
In case you missed that,
In
they did a bad
in case
thing
you missed
last
what
summer.
they actually did last summer.
Yeah.
Oy.
It's as if half the people making the movie thought it was supposed to be a comedy and the other half thought it was supposed to be a B-movie horror film. I legitimately laughed during multiple points watching this.
Good. I like that person. All right. Trivia?
No, I got one more.
Okay, go one more.
It's not a very kid-friendly movie.
Oh, fuck off. Oh.
All right, trivia. I'll do a fact first.
Okay.
Okay. A court ruling ordered all copies of this film to be destroyed. However, several
okay.
prints of it survived, and the film has come to be regarded as an influential masterpiece of cinema. That's a fact.
Okay.
It is a, where it says, an unauthorized and unofficial adaptation of Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula.
Lee, is it Nosferatu?
It was released in 1922.
Who was it directed by, Lee?
Budget of $14.50. No, German, so it's marks, but it doesn't say a budget.
Is that why it was destroyed? Because of Nazis?
The running time. So it was released on the 4th of March 1922.
Yep.
Produced by Prana Film. They make really good chai, actually, Prana.
You're a fucking idiot.
That's true. If you're from Melbourne, you know that Prana chai is a good chai.
If you're from Melbourne, you know that.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Yeah. Running time. Okay.
Yeah.
63 to 94 minutes, depending on version and transfer speed.
So when we watch this, what version are we going to get?
I don't know. We're going to see a big screen version. So we're going
Yeah.
to see it at the Astor Theatre because they're doing it for Shocktober. So it's Nosferatu.
And you know what? I'm shocked
Symphony
they're
of Horror.
showing it.
Nosferatu, a symphony of horror in German. Nosferatu, eine Symphonie des Grauens.
Just growls.
It's a silent German expressionist horror film.
It's a silent movie.
Yeah, it's a silent movie. Yeah, as you said before, it was made before the invention
Before
of
the
sound.
invention of sound. Oh, God, Lee.
So I'm going to...
Nosferatu.
Okay, so I think the only way we can get a 6 degrees of separation
Is to go like that it was based off Dracula?
is if we allow Dracula. Okay?
Because then you go like Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
that other guy in 54?
So instead of we're not actually doing I Know What You Did Last Summer to Nosferatu, we're doing it to the 90s version of Dracula.
We're doing Gary Oldman to I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
I Know What You Did Last Summer stars Brian Felipe,
Yes.
who was in Cruel Intentions
Who was
with Reese Witherspoon.
in Reese Witherspoon.
Right? Who was in a Friends episode.
Yes.
And so was Gary Oldman. Not the same episode. But
I think we can do better.
But
Gary Oldman in Friends.
Yeah, he was just in this thing. The episode where Monica and Chandler get married. And
Is he the
Joey's
celebrant?
No, Joey's meant to be the celebrant. And he's in the set and he's doing a movie. And he's playing opposite Gary Oldman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Someone got criticised online recently. Oh, no. Was it Kanye said Friends wasn't funny and Courtney Cox had to go back at him?
Oh, I don't know. Courtney
Because
Cox.
I think he says something in one of his songs about a joke from Friends. And she made a TikTok video back that had that song in the background. It's cheating.
Nosferatu is based off the same material that is Bram Stoker's Dracula, starring Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
That was in an episode of Friends, and Reese Witherspoon was also in Friends episodes.
Okay.
That she was in Cruel Intentions with Brian Felipe, who's in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Mine is Max Schreck is played by Christopher Walken.
Max Schreck is the director who has the same name.
No. Max Schreck plays Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Who is played by Christopher Walken in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Who has the same butler as George Clooney, who is in an episode of ER with Mekhi Phifer, who is in I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is what it's called.
Yeah.
With Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
Okay? Neither of those are good.
Actually,
thanks for listening.
Actually, if you were being technical, Mekhi Phifer and George Clooney weren't in ER at the same time.
Gary Oldman and Reese Witherspoon weren't either.
But
Jennifer
Gary
Aniston,
Oldman, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon could still do it.
I think that's too many steps.
Probably.
You know, it's 30 years since Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman. We could watch both of those next week and do a comparison of a German silent film and Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves and Gary Oldman. Anthony Hopkins is in that too.
Right.
Not as Hitchcock.
There you go.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Drink Cinema Nosferatu you can watch on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's 100 years old, so it's not copyrighted. And also, it's not meant to be able to be watched anyway.
Yeah, because of... I don't know why. I guess
because it was a rip-off. They didn't get the rights from Bram. So watch that. We're going to watch it at the Astor on this week. And we'll review that next week. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Lee. I'm trying to say it different. Two Drink Cinema!